My name is Alice. I was 26 years old when I met Adam. I lived with my mother and younger sister in a small city near Dallas, Texas. After my father passed away, life became harder, but we stayed strong together. We didn't have much, but we had each other. I worked at a clothing shop in the mall. The job wasn't exciting, but it helped pay the bills. I came home tired most evenings, but I still laughed with my sister while we cooked dinner. One Saturday afternoon, my cousin Maria got married. The wedding was in a big hall filled with music, flowers, and happy people. Everyone was dancing, smiling, and enjoying delicious food. I wore a blue dress that my mother helped me fix up. It wasn't new, but it looked beautiful on me. While I was talking to friends, I noticed a man standing near the entrance. He was tall, with dark hair and a serious face. He didn't laugh. He didn't dance. He just stood there, quietly looking at everyone. And sometimes he looked at me. I felt strange. He didn't speak to anyone, not even the groom. I thought maybe he was shy. I looked away and tried to forget about him. But every time I glanced across the room, he was still there, still watching. During the wedding, I danced with my cousins and enjoyed the music. I laughed, took pictures, and had fun. But the man didn't dance or smile. He never joined the celebration. He just stayed in the same spot until the wedding ended. 2 days later, I got a message on my phone. "Hi, I saw you at the wedding. Can we talk?" I was confused. I asked, "Who is this?" He replied, "I'm the man from the wedding. You wore a blue dress. You looked beautiful." I was shocked. How did he get my number? "I asked your cousin Maria. I hope it's okay." I didn't know what to say. I wasn't sure if I should reply, but I was curious. I had never had a stranger say something like that to me before. So I wrote back, "Okay, we can talk." That's how it started. His name was Adam. He said he was 32 years old and worked in a real estate office helping people buy homes. He lived alone in the city. He said he didn't have many close friends. We started talking every day. He messaged me in the morning and at night. He asked about my day, my dreams, my favorite food, and even my favorite movie. He said I was sweet, kind, and full of light. I started to smile when I saw his messages. My heart felt warm when I read his words. On the 3rd day, he sent me a message that surprised me. "I want to marry you," he wrote. "I see you as my future." I didn't know what to say. We had only talked for a few days. I wrote back, "You don't really know me." He replied, "I know what I feel. I feel something strong. I don't want to lose you. Please say yes." I was quiet for a long time. I told my mother about him. She said, "Be careful, Alice. Some people say sweet things, but they don't mean them. Take your time." But his words made me feel special. No one had ever looked at me the way he did. No one had called me the one before. He made me feel like I was important. After 2 weeks of texting, I said yes. "I will marry you," I told him. He called me and said, "You made me the happiest man. I will take care of you forever." Our wedding was small. Only close family and a few friends came. I wore a white dress that my mother helped me pick. Adam wore a gray suit. He looked at me and smiled the whole time. I believed I had found the perfect man. In the beginning, everything felt like a dream. He brought me flowers. He took me to small cafes and walks in the park. He held my hand and told me sweet things. "You are the light in my life," he would say. We moved into a small apartment in the city. I stopped working so I could stay at home. He told me not to worry about money. "I'll take care of us," he said. For 1 month, life was beautiful. I cooked meals for him. I decorated our little home with soft lights and photo frames. Every night I waited for him to come home. Sometimes he brought cake. Sometimes he brought a small gift, like earrings or my favorite chocolate. We would eat dinner together, talk, and laugh. I felt lucky. I told myself, maybe this is what true love feels like. But slowly, things started to change. One evening, I saw him sitting on the sofa, smiling at his phone. He was typing fast. I asked gently, "Who are you talking to?" He looked up quickly and said, "Just a friend from work." Then he put his phone in his pocket and turned on the TV. I didn't ask again. I wanted to trust him. But over the next few weeks, he started coming home late. He said work was busy. He didn't sit with me at dinner. He barely looked at me. His phone was always in his hand or in his pocket. He never left it lying around like before. One night he came home after midnight. I had made his favorite dinner. It was cold now. "Where were you?" I asked softly. "I told you work," he said. "Why are you acting like this?" I felt something sharp in my chest. I didn't answer. I tried to forget the worry in my heart. I told myself maybe I was being too sensitive. I didn't want to fight. I still loved him. I hoped things would get better. But deep inside, I felt something wasn't right. And then, everything changed. Before I share the rest of my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone is hearing my words, someone who understands me. Please tell me in the comments. I would really love to know. One evening, he went to take a shower. He left his phone on the table. It was unlocked. I sat there for a moment, just staring at it. My hands were cold. My heart was beating fast. I didn't want to touch it. But I did. I opened his messages. There, I saw her name. Melissa. I clicked it. The messages were sweet, romantic. "You're the one I think about every night. I miss your touch." He had replied, "You mean everything to me." My eyes burned. My throat hurt. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. There were photos too. Selfies in a car, smiling, her hand on his shoulder. I felt like the floor under me had disappeared. He never told me those things. He never looked at me the way he looked at her in those pictures. Then he came out of the bathroom and saw the phone in my hand. He stopped. I looked up at him. My hands were shaking. "Who is Melissa?" I asked, my voice soft and broken. He didn't speak at first. Then he said, "It's not what it looks like." But I already knew what it was, and my heart was no longer blind. I sat on the edge of the bed, holding Adam's phone in my hands. My whole body was shaking. I didn't know how to speak. My mouth was dry, and my heart was heavy. I looked at him. His face was pale. He looked nervous, but not sorry. "I trusted you," I said quietly. "You told me I was your one and only. Why did you lie?" He looked away. "I made a mistake, Alice. Please, it didn't mean anything." "Didn't mean anything?" I asked. "You called her your everything. You took pictures with her. You sent her messages every day. You gave her the love I thought was mine." He stepped closer, but I moved back. "I'm sorry," he said again. "Please forgive me. I will stop talking to her. I promise. Give me one more chance. I'll be better." I didn't reply. I couldn't. I went to the bedroom and locked the door. I cried the whole night. I didn't sleep. The pain in my chest was worse than anything I had felt before. I kept thinking about the messages, about the pictures, about his smile that was never for me. In the morning, I packed my clothes slowly. I didn't take everything, just what I needed. I didn't say a word to him. I left the apartment and took a taxi to my mother's house. When she opened the door, she looked surprised. "Alice? What happened?" I hugged her tightly and started to cry. I didn't tell her everything. I only said, "I need to stay here for a while." She held me close. "Of course, my child. Stay as long as you want." For the next few days, I didn't talk much. I stayed in my old room, thinking about everything. My younger sister Emma tried to cheer me up, but I didn't feel like smiling. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the messages. I saw the pictures. Adam called me every day. I didn't answer. He sent messages, begging me to come back. He said he had deleted Melissa's number. He said he was lost without me. After 1 week, my mother sat with me in the kitchen. "What happened, Alice?" she asked gently. I looked down at my cup. He was talking to another woman, sending her love messages. They were together before our marriage. He didn't stop even after we got married. My mother gasped. "Are you sure?" I nodded slowly. I saw the messages. I saw pictures. He said he was sorry, but I can't forget what he did. She held my hand. "It's hard, I know, but you have to think about your future. Do you want to stay married? Or do you want to leave?" "I don't know," I said. I still love him, but I feel broken. She didn't tell me what to do. She just said, whatever decision you make, I will stand with you. Later that day, Adam came to the house. My mother opened the door. I was in my room. I didn't want to see him, but she called me. Come, Alice. He's here. I walked slowly to the living room. Adam stood there holding a small bag. His eyes looked tired. I brought something for you, he said, handing me the bag. I didn't open it. Please, Alice. I know I hurt you. I was foolish. But I love you. I want to fix this. Let me try again. For us. I looked at him. He was the same man who said sweet things to me before. The same man who made me feel special. But also the same man who lied. I didn't say anything. I just looked at my mother. She said softly, sometimes people do change. Adam continued, let me show you I can be better. Please, just one more chance. For a moment I thought about the good times, the walks, the dinners, the laughter. I wanted that man back. I wanted my marriage to work. I also thought about how people would talk if I left him so soon. And so, I agreed. One last chance, I said. Don't break my heart again. He promised. He said he would never hurt me again. We moved back to the apartment. For a short time, things looked better. He was kind. He came home early. He gave me time and attention. He said he was lucky to have me. I wanted to believe him. We tried to rebuild our life. I cleaned the apartment, cooked our favorite meals, and we watched movies together again. He even suggested we go out to dinner one night. I smiled and thought, maybe he's really changing. But something in me had changed too. I didn't feel the same. I couldn't laugh the way I did before. I couldn't trust him fully. Every time he picked up his phone, I felt nervous. Every time he came home late, I felt cold inside. I didn't tell him, but I was always scared. Then it started again. It was small at first. He kept his phone close, even in the bathroom. He didn't talk much. One evening, he said he had to go to a work dinner. He left early and came home after midnight. I waited by the window, my heart heavy. The next day, I saw him in his car, parked near the grocery store. He was not alone. Melissa was sitting beside him. They were laughing. My heart broke again, but this time it didn't bleed. It went silent. When he came home, I didn't ask. I didn't cry. I just looked at him and said, "You did it again." He fell to his knees. "Alice, I'm sorry. I don't know why I do this. You are my angel, my wife, my everything. Please don't leave me." I didn't answer. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked to the kitchen and made tea. I sat alone, thinking about my life. I thought about the girl who danced at the wedding, full of hope. I thought about the woman I had become, quiet, afraid. unsure. I thought about my future, and I knew this could not be my life. In the morning, I started packing again. He watched me. "You're really going to leave?" he asked. I said, "Yes." "But I love you," he said. I didn't reply. I went to my mother's house with my suitcase. I hugged her and said, "I can't do this anymore." She didn't ask questions. She just made space for me. This time, I told her everything. About the second chance. About seeing him again with Melissa. About how my heart felt nothing for him anymore. She said, "You are brave, Alice. I'm proud of you." I stayed with my family for some time. My sister helped me laugh again. My mother helped me sleep. Slowly, I started to breathe freely. One day, I woke up and said to myself, "I want a new life." And that's when I made the biggest decision of my life. I stood in front of the mirror, holding a passport in my hand. It felt strange. A few months ago, I was crying on the floor of a small apartment. Now, I was getting ready to leave everything behind. After I left Adam for the second time, I stayed with my mother and sister. I felt empty, but also calm. I no longer waited for messages from him. I no longer wondered where he was or who he was with. I was tired of pain. I was tired of forgiving the same lie. One morning, I looked at a job post online. It was for a hotel receptionist in Lisbon, Portugal. I didn't know anyone there. I had never left the country before. But something inside me said, "Go." I showed it to my mother. "You want to go abroad?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I want to start again. Somewhere far away." She looked at me for a long time. "It won't be easy." "I know," I said. She didn't stop me. She helped me fill out the forms and collect my documents. My sister cried when I told her. "I'll miss you," she said. "I'll miss you too," I replied, holding her tight. It took 2 months to get everything ready. I sold my clothes, my phone, even my small gold earrings to buy a plane ticket. I didn't want to ask Adam for anything. I wanted to leave with nothing that had his name on it. The day before my flight, Adam came to my mother's house. I was in the garden when he arrived. He looked tired and thin. "Where are you going?" he asked. "Far," I said. "I heard you're leaving the country," he said. "Yes. For good." He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Can I say something?" I waited. "I know I hurt you," he said. "I ruined everything. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm sorry." I didn't say anything. I just looked at him. He stepped closer. "Please, don't go. We can fix this. I'll change." I shook my head slowly. "I gave you 2 chances. You wasted both. I love you," he whispered. "You never showed it," I replied. "Not in the way I needed." He lowered his eyes. He knew it was the end. I turned away and walked inside. I didn't cry. The next morning, I kissed my mother and sister goodbye. I hugged them tightly at the airport. My mother put her hands on my shoulders. "Go live your life," she said. "You're strong." And I believed her. The plane took off into the sky, and I looked out the window. Below me, everything I had known became small. When I reached Lisbon, the air felt different. The language, the streets, the people, everything was new. I felt scared, but also free. It was like I had stepped into someone else's life. I started my job at the hotel. The manager, Mr. Silva, was kind. He spoke slowly so I could understand. I worked at the front desk, greeting guests and helping with their rooms. I didn't make much money, but I didn't care. I had peace. I shared a small apartment with another girl named Lucia. She worked in a bakery. She didn't ask many questions. She gave me space. We cooked together, listened to music, and sometimes walked by the sea. At night, I wrote in a notebook. I wrote about my past, my mistakes, my lessons. I wrote about my dreams. I wrote letters I would never send. Sometimes I missed my family. Sometimes I missed the person I thought Adam was. But I didn't miss the lies. I didn't miss the pain. One evening, I sat by the ocean. The sky was orange and pink. The waves touched my feet, and the wind played with my hair. I watched the sun slowly go down. In that moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. I whispered to myself, "You did the right thing." Because I did. I had left a man who broke my heart again and again. I had chosen myself. I had chosen to live with respect, not regret. Weeks turned into months. I got better at my job. I learned new words. I smiled more. I laughed again. I met people from many countries. Some told me their stories. Some were also running from pain. We shared tea and quiet moments. I didn't tell them everything about me, but when they spoke, I listened with my heart. Lucia once told me, "You look strong, Alice." I smiled and said, "I wasn't always." "But now you are," she replied. And she was right. One day while walking home, I passed a flower shop. I stopped and bought myself a rose, not because it was a special day, but because I was learning to love myself again. That night, I placed the rose in a glass and put it near my window. It was just a small flower, but to me, it meant everything. It meant I was alive. It meant I was free. It meant I was healing. I looked at the sky and said, "Thank you."